Hi.
Hello. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm all right. I still got my cold air in though.
Lingering.
Yeah. Rude. Well, you know when you get to the stage, you're like, oh, come on, I've had enough of this now.
Outstage, it's welcome. 5 days in.
Yeah, I've had the like feel sorry for me sort of stage. You know, oh, I don't feel well, and now I'm like, okay, that's enough. Like, I need to get the washing done.
Yeah, can't breathe.
Yeah.
Want to breathe sort of situation.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm with you.
So I'll have a drink instead.
Yeah, make yourself feel better. Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to another episode of We've Got This Maybe, the podcast. Well, yeah, I'm feeling excited, clearly.
Well, this week's a funny one because I think we were talking about this and we kind of found out that we're both self-confessed social stalkers.
A little bit. I've been doing a little bit recently, and okay. Let's just dive straight in.
Oh,
shall
I
we?
can't do it.
What are you like? And we may have covered this before in another episode on a similar-ish topic, maybe not. What are you like on social media yourself? Like, do you post everything, put yourself out there, or are you quite private?
I am probably more on the spectrum of not everything, but I do put stuff on. Basically, in my mind, my posts are, I think, for my family.
Okay.
My family and my friends who like want to see what we're up to. So if we go out for the day or if we do something, they'll want to see like a nice picture of Sophia, or if Lawrence and I are on a date night, they quite like to see, because my family just want to know what we're doing all the time. So again, it's because they live up north and I don't see them that often. And it's my way of just like, here's what we're up to. This is what what our adventures are this week.
Yeah.
But then I'm not one of those people that would be like, hi, get ready with me for the day. Like, I don't do the whole
Fine. Okay.
like,
yeah.
This is me, I don't know, in the supermarket, in the shopping center, like 5-second like scan sort of thing. I don't really do that, but I would definitely say I'm more on the end of sharing than not sharing. Okay. How about you? Where are you?
So on my like personal accounts or whatever, I'm a non-sharer. I probably post something once every 6 months. Sometimes I feel like I want to post something, but then I don't.
But I think that's good that you don't.
Yeah, because I always say, like, who is this for? Right?
Exactly.
Because unlike you, most of my family, I guess, aren't on social media. And if I really want to send somebody something, I'll send it to them. I'll send my mum something, or my family chat something, or my nan something, or whatever. And I potentially know what I'm like when I'm using social media and looking at other people's posts, that I'm just like, why am I showing somebody else this? Like, they don't care, they don't know me. Like, I might send you a funny picture of me and the kids or something that we're doing, but the 250 people that might follow me on Instagram, I don't know half of them, or I don't care, or I don't want them to see us in that environment, perhaps. Like,
so you're more a social observer.
Voyeur.
Well, I mean, this is what we were talking about, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like, we both found out that we were both self-confessed crown obsessives.
Yeah. All I was doing was Wikipediaing and Googling.
Oh, I mean, I went further than that, Erin. I was like into all the conspiracy theories. I was watching all the other documentaries. I was like, is this storyline real? How far have they taken it?
So that's one side of it. So we watch something on the TV and then we're like invested in knowing the characters, knowing, how realistic is something, finding something out that we didn't know.
Yeah.
And then on the other side of that is, secretly following somebody's life, right? So I have some friends that are so good at stalking on social media, right?
Yeah.
Whatever. You give them a snippet of information and they will tell you aunties, brothers, sisters, friend, what they're doing now, what the kid's called, what this is. Like, seriously, it's like an art. I was going to say a business. It probably could be a business, but it's a fine art, and that's what worries me.
But isn't this like the catfish thing? Have you seen that team on MTV? I think it is, where there's the suspected catfish, and the team stalk them to find out if they are an actual catfish. This is what people could do,
and it's really scary. And I think we, like, generation that we grew up in, we are slightly more aware of it, and you put stuff on there, and I think maybe you forget what you've put on there, and then it like comes back to bite you. But my mum, as an example, has just pretty recently joined Facebook, of all platforms, right? And she probably follows a handful of people. I don't even think that her and I are friends, right, on Facebook. So I often get that notification, like, add as a friend, like your mum. So but they've never really been into it. Like, I remember, like, when we were growing up, my mum always joked, oh, should we get Facebook? Should we do this? And I was like, no, like, you've absolutely got no reason to. And they're not like that, like, is it like articulate, like in that sense, like in the or whatever?
Fair enough, yeah.
Like you would say, but so my mum's just recently retired, so she's now like trying to use social media to, like, help her out a bit, find groups, like socialize, find people that she knew. And my mum has now become like a Facebook stalker. She asked me, like, the other week, like, how do I search for this person? How do I find this person? Or how does this person find me? And she's now looking for, like, people from, like 40 years ago.
Yeah.
On Facebook.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you a story. God bless her, my auntie, my mum's sister, Auntie Joyce, she's just had a reunion with some of her school friends. It was in paper because they went to school in the late 50s together, and they've all just made a massive reunion. There was like 20 of them, and they all got back together, like, for the first time in 50 years or something crazy like that. And there was a picture of them all, and, like, Auntie Joyce sent it to me, and she was like, we found each other on Facebook. Like, this is how this happened. Like,
and that's
again,
amazing.
So that's one of the magic stories that comes through. But then, yeah, I mean, there is obviously there's also a dark side to it. But, like, that's one of the success stories, I think, when you can find long lost friends.
Totally. And, like, just like with my mum, like, and this is where, like, modern day you've got things like Facebook, but my mum told me that she really wanted to find this friend that she had from probably 30 years ago.
Yeah.
And she searched her on Facebook, but she didn't know what her married name was now, or whatever. And she was like, oh, I found an old phone book, right? And then she found the name, found the address, and she was like, oh, I'm just going to go and knock and see if she's still
Stop it.
knock and see if she's still there. And I was like, okay, well, why don't you just go and post a note? And at the time, my mum was like, oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Like, literally, probably less than 24 hours later, I get this message from my mum. I've just gone and knocked.
Oh, she did it.
She did, yeah. And she still lived there. And I was like,
stop. Oh, my goodness.
Was she surprised that you showed up at her doorstep? She was like, yeah, she was. But I went in and we had this conversation, and, like, you don't know what's going to happen now. I don't know whether we're going to stay in contact or not. But my mum just had this, like, real urge, I guess. You know when you get an urge, like, you just want to.
But I'm thinking, what's the urge? What was happened there? Was it like did they lose each other over time?
Do you know what I think it is?
Regret?
I think my mum just has time.
So she has time to think about things.
Yeah, and that's like reality is, like, my mum, like, as I say, like, recently retired, and, she maybe wants to do the things that she maybe never had an opportunity to do before. So yeah, she literally just went and, like, old phone book, found the address, knocked on the door, and, like, be done with it.
Oh my goodness. I mean, would you do that? Like, have you got any friends that you wished you could find?
I've got a lot of people I know that I would love to, like, regain that spark, but I think it takes a lot of courage to just go and knock on someone's door. I think often using social media can be a little bit easier because you drop that cheeky like, or you comment on a photo or something like that, right? And then that's your easy way in. You might drop them a DM. And, there is definitely people that have, like, been in my life, and then I see them go through like a big life milestone, they maybe get married or like have a child, and you then like almost spark that conversation again because you're congratulating them or something like that, and that helps. But I don't know if I would just approach somebody like that through fear of what I might find, what I might fear.
So true.
You could knock somewhere and they go, oh, unfortunately, like that person passed away. Like you just don't know.
No, you really don't. And it is so unpredictable. I'll tell you what, like this is a wild one for you. So I don't know how much I have shared with the listeners how much I love vintage.
No,
like
I love
I'm
vintage.
obsessed. And so as you do, liked things to see if you can get like a little cheeky offer from the seller, and liked this pair of shoes for Sophia or something. It was some item of clothing or shoes, whatever. And the person sent me a message going, "Are you Vix Proctor?" And I'm like, "Who is this? What?" And I was like, and I said to Lawrence, I was like, "Do I tell her? Do I say yes?" And so anyway, he was like, "I don't know, do it, And I'm like going, "Oh my God, do I say it is?" Anyway, I did. And I said, "Yes, this is Vix Proctor." And they were like, "Oh my God." And it was a friend of mine's who I used to work with. It was her older sister from like 20 years ago.
Oh my God.
So we've now connected on Instagram and Facebook.
Via vintage.
I didn't end up buying it, by the way. Just out of curiosity, if anybody was interested.
Didn't accept your offer.
No, they didn't accept my offer. But again, it was amazing because like I'd lost touch with the friend that I used to work with. And I mean, we weren't that hugely close anyway, but like I did always get on with their older sister. So it was absolutely lovely because seeing her life and how her life's gone and how happy her and all her kids are. And, because I saw her, she was just starting out. She just got engaged when I kind of like went off and, when our paths sort of like veered away from each other. And now she's got 3 beautiful kids. Like she's got her own business, like her husband's business is doing amazing. So it was really nice to reconnect. But how rando, like vintage.
Yeah, that's not the sort of
not your regs kind of,
that's not
convo
platform. But I feel like this does feed into like other conversations that we've had about, how you portray yourself to the world, what you put out there. Because, when I look at people now, you're seeing their glossy highlights reel, aren't you? Like you're seeing what they choose to put out. And is that feeding into the whole, oh, haven't they got a great life? Like, oh, this makes my life look X. We went to school together and this person's doing so much better or whichever direction. Like it does feed a little bit into that. And I think maybe that's why I am a little bit more guarded, because you hear these horror stories sometimes, especially now with people like fall from grace. Somebody gets a big job or an upcoming celebrity, and somebody pulls up something that they posted or commented on or liked X number of years ago on social media and gone.
Do you know what? And again, this is where my 2 pence on society, but like if you're saying something authentically, then you got to own it, right? So this whole thing about, like you're saying about people putting stuff on for show, whereas I don't do that. Like I would be happy for anything I say or do on social media. I own it. Like I'm happy to own it, whether it's regrettable. I wished I hadn't. Honestly, if I'm posting it out into the world wide web, I've got to own it, right? Whereas some people don't, and they're kind of like they just make quick comments. They're keyboard warriors, and they're trying to like I don't know. They've got some disgruntled sort of backstory, which means that they're angry at the world. But again, if we made it a more authentic place for people to feel they can share the downs, the highs, the lows, the bads, the goods, the amazings, and I really seriously fucked up here and I'm really sorry. There's that kind of opportunity where you could create a really nice environment for everybody to like be socially kind of together. Whereas like I think there is, like you say, some real people who kind of just make it a little, it's the wrong kind of place for you to feel good about yourself sometimes.
So tell me this, right? How do I articulate this? So 20 years ago, at no point in time would you be taking a random photo of yourself on a Sunday afternoon and posting it for any man and his dog to see. What do we get from that now? And I don't do that, right? Well, I actually don't do that, but lots of people do it, and I look at people doing it, and that's fine. What do we get from it? Like, why? Like, what has changed in our lives that we feel that we need to show?
So, do you know what this has just made me think of? Have you seen the Marks and Spencer sandwich that's gone viral? The Victoria Sponge one.
Well, I have seen a few recently. The things
of people trying it.
Yeah.
So this is exactly it. Like 20 years ago, would you sit and take a photo of yourself eating a sandwich and telling everybody, like, look at this sandwich, this is what I had? And again, it's this whole influencer, celebrity culture kind of creeping into what we feel we should be doing. Do you know what I mean? So, like, watching these people eat this sandwich, I'm there going, I'm literally questioning myself, going, do I want to try that?
But yeah, and I get that from an advertising or marketing perspective. And that's no different to why anybody would want something on the TV or something on a billboard. But what gain am I going to get, or what gain is anybody else going to get from me sharing a photo of me and my kids on a train?
But but this again is one of those things where it's a lifestyle thing. It's like an expectancy to show your lifestyle.
But that's my question, for whose gain?
But this is like, it's the whole thing about, like, I don't know, watching the Osbournes, watching the Kardashians, watching Towie, watching, like, you know, you watch them in the most rando situations. I'm just having a tea and a chat. I mean, I suppose that's what we're doing right now. But you know, there's this culture about the fact that we are exposing our whole lives to each other.
But are we? But we're not, right? Right. You are not exposing your whole life to each other.
No.
You are exposing the bits you're
choosing,
And that's my point, is like, why? Like, what is that? Like, and then you get the other side of it, where you get people not showing the positives. They only show the negatives to almost appear real, you know, kids having a meltdown. And I get that, because it makes everyone feel like they're all part of the same thing. But like, why? I still question.
But I think that's okay to question why, because sometimes the narrative isn't there. You know, the real, like you say, the full kind of story isn't present about why someone's doing something or why they decided to share certain aspects. But I think I've mentioned this in previous episodes where, you know, I work for a long-term health condition charity, and, you know, I work in multiple sclerosis, and it's a very isolating condition. So when people are scrolling and they can see, it's a very unique condition as well, where you don't always have the same symptoms. Some people can have very, very unique experiences of the condition. And again, like, seeing someone say something and you're going, oh my God, it's not just me. Like,
get that.
It's incredible. And one of the charities that I have the great honor to have worked with her, the girl who's leading it, Amy Thompson, she started her own charity because when she got diagnosed at 21, and she started this charity at MS Together, because she could not see herself in any charity, any social situation, any community, any volunteer groups. She couldn't see herself as a 21-year-old. So through social media, she has built a community and now a charity to help young people.
Yeah.
And that's relied on social people exposing their day-to-day lives.
I get that. When you are doing something to help something medical. So, you know, I personally have put myself out there several times in you know, the social space where I feel like I can add value. You know, when Max was born, he had hip dysplasia, and, you know, I actively tried to find information about that online, and I couldn't. So I started documenting Max's journey, you know, really positively, got some really positive feedback from other people that were in the same situation as us. And more recently, you know, I had a boob job, and I post and stuff like that because it was a new and innovative procedure that hadn't been done in the UK before. It was a minimally invasive thing, so like unusual. And I couldn't find information about that, so I started to document my own journey. So yeah, I get that because it's educational and for the greater good. But me putting a post up of my kids' dirty pants on the floor, or a kitchen sink, or me sitting in the car, me sitting on the train, or me standing in a bikini, that I just
You don't understand that full kind of.
I don't get that.
And again, I mean, I could argue the pros and the cons, I think, well, to my own experience. But again, it's that whole thing of like, you don't know what's influencing others and what others are needing to see or wanting to see. Because like everybody's different. I mean, this current society, like, it's weird. I mean, think of the incident with your shoes, babe.
No way. When you're selling those shoes. I still wonder whether I should have taken up that offer or not. I could be doing crazy things now had I have sold my pictures of my feet.
Yeah, get yourself on OnlyFans. But again, it's that whole thing of like, life is so unique, and what makes a like reality. Like you say, I do think there's a number of inauthentic people out there who, we've seen the impact, the negative impact of social media, and obviously I've just talked about the positive impact of it, and it's just got to be enough. And again, this is my own opinion. It's not like, I don't know if it's based in fact or not, but as long as there's authenticity to it.
What scares me, right, is our kids could post something online now, right?
Yeah.
Like, based on what a kid would say. 10 years from now, they're 14, 15, 16 years old, whatever. They say something online, and then it comes back to haunt them. Like, think about how the world has changed, how woke we are now, like cancel culture. Some of the stuff that was acceptable 10 years ago, 15 years ago, when, Twitter was first out, or we first started using Facebook. And we've had that conversation about cringing about what you used to post. Now it seems to be like normal, to stalk somebody on LinkedIn, find them on Instagram, find them on Facebook. Like, is that fair to be judged? Like, I would hate somebody to judge me now as a professional, like mid-30s, mother, children, wife, whatever, on something I done or said when I was a child at 17.
Oh yeah, I totally disagree with judging you on that, because again, I mean, I will hold my hand up as a recruiter in my job. When I've looked on socials, when I've been interested, like, I don't look further back than what they're kind of currently doing if I have looked at them. Because it's not fair. We all evolve, we all grow, we all learn from our lessons from way back when. I mean, nobody knew what they were going to be in 20 years' time. Nobody knew that they were going to be whoever they were going to be.
But the companies are also worried about the people that they are hiring. Like, in years gone by, I've seen like celebrities, like B, C, D list celebrities. They rock up, they go on I'm a Celebrity or something like that. And a couple of weeks in, they're withdrawn from the show because of something that they posted on social media, when what they said would have been deemed acceptable at the time, which isn't now acceptable.
Which, again, it's where, and this, again, I'm not an expert, and I really kind of, I would appreciate, I guess, in a way, some, people helping us with this, but it's what you do now and what you do next. So again, like you say, like taking someone out of something because of what they did 20 years ago, if there was something that they knew was wrong and they still went ahead and did it, then okay, that's bad. But don't we all change? Don't we all learn from our mistakes? Don't we all learn from our failures? Or, don't we kind of, or we've all got to be given that second chance that we want to improve, when it's our next step rather than what we did 20 years ago. And I don't know, I do agree with you about the sort of, wading back into the sort of, history books to kind of see, to dig out that little kind of grit or
And I
dirt, and
think
it's silly.
that is what scares me a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, I remember when Freddie was born, and obviously the world that Rory works in, like, there's a lot of, you know, online stuff. And I was really worried about, you know, Freddie, obviously Matt just wasn't even a thought at that point, but you know, of Freddie being like in that, like Rory wanted to get him on camera, wanted to do stuff, and I was like really protective, and I let my guard down a little bit, and the children do like come on camera now, but I always thought, but like, oh, I don't know if I want the people to see the kids. I don't know if I want to expose them to that. And I see a lot of people, I guess, that are in the public eye now having those same sort of things, like trying to draw their kids back after they did put them out there a lot.
Yeah.
Some like to grow their careers, to grow their profiles, whatever, because it was relatable. But, you know, the kids get older and the kids don't necessarily want that.
No, it's a really...
They're trying to withdraw.
Yeah, it's a really tricky thing, I think, to navigate, because it's like, it's all around consent as well. Like, a kid can't give its consent around you using its, you know, image, person, you know. And that's the whole thing with, you know, Sophia. I made a decision that I would do it because of who I want it to go out to. But again, it's that it is in the back of my mind going, am I doing the wrong thing for her?
Are you private on social media?
Yeah.
You are?
Yeah.
Right, so you've only ever got people that you'd accept anyway, which is fine. And I'm private as well. You know, and that's the stalker's worst nightmare. Like, you try and find somebody and it's like, add this friend on Instagram or add this friend on Facebook or whatever, and you can't see anything. You're like, all I want to know is what you're doing right now. Do you know what I mean? But, you know, there was a time that I wasn't private and I had lots of people, not even friends, like people who would just accept. And I've got, right, do you have people on Instagram or whatever that you've maybe been following for dongs, like years and years and years? You never knew them, you just came across them, and now you sort of feel like they're a friend?
Oh yeah, to the point that they've followed me back and stuff like that. Well, we've never met.
You don't, like, strangers, but you know so much about their lives, and they're not even influencers. Like, we're not talking about people that you follow because they are actively influencers. You're talking about just some girl that maybe used to live 4 streets away from you that you didn't know, but she was in your area.
Yep, totally that. I can think of one person in my head. I won't say her name. But there's one girl who I lived in Teating. She lived literally 4 streets away. We were both pregnant at the same time. She gave birth to her son like days before I gave birth to Sophia. Then I don't know how we started following each other, but we did. And then we figured out that we were both gave birth in the same hospital, and actually we were probably there at the same time because of the overlap. And then we realised that we're both from North Yorkshire, like we both lived in North Yorkshire. And anyway, we moved to Woking, and then she messaged me going, "Oh, we're thinking of moving out to like Woking area, Cobham, like round there. Have you got any advice or any suggestions?" and things like that. And like we've been messaging back and forth. "Oh, where did you get that? That looks really good." "Oh, where?" Because she's got 2 boys, and I'm like, "Oh, that's brilliant. Where did you find that?"
But at least you'll have
never met
conversations. Like, I have people that I follow and that follow me that we probably live at other ends of the country.
Yeah,
like we've never spoken. At least you've got some like
commonality, I guess,
with each other. But some people that I follow, and I just know everything about. I know what they're doing every day. I know what they've had for breakfast.
Yeah.
I don't know you from Adam.
But I think that's the thing. It's like, is that just because of the way we are with, like, you know, when we watch all these reality TV shows.
So I'm saying I'm a voyeur, just looking at people.
But like, it's like, you know, there's one of my favourite podcasts of all time is Like-Minded Friends, right? If you haven't listened to it, it's very funny. Susie Ruffle, Tom Allen, and they don't know that I'm their best friend.
Okay.
You know, because I listen to their podcast and I'm like, oh my God, babes, like we should be absolute best buddies. And they don't know how much of a best friend I am. Like, I am there for them every week when they release the latest episode, you know, and I just love them and I think they're fabulous. But I've never got in touch. Like, I've never
How amazing, though, is it to think that I don't know, somebody that randomly followed you X number of years ago is looking at you and, you know, taking joy or pleasure, or, you know, they feel something from something that you're posting.
So I made a decision a long time ago, and I'm sure we can cover this in a future episode about, what took us down the path we chose to go down. I made a decision a long time ago that I want to bring joy into the world, and I want to help. Whatever I do, I want to help the world be a better place. So again, like, as much as I have my own failings, I certainly am not perfect in any shape or form. I've got my own challenges, my own demons still. I still like to share stuff that brings me inspiration or me joy or makes me laugh. And if I feel that way and I want to share that with the world, and I literally had someone post yesterday, shout out to Paula, messaging me and shouting out to me on Instagram going, if it wasn't for Vix Proctor, I wouldn't have found her. And this particular person who was talking about self respect and value. And like, I've had a number of people reach out to me going, oh my God, I love this. Thank you so much for sharing. It's made me feel better. So again, there's like, it's a choice you make, and depending on what you're posting, really, isn't it? Like, and again, like I believe that if something I find either funny or inspires me, like, I want to share it just in case someone's having a down day.
And do you know, it's just popped into my head. I guess social media now brings us the community that we have lost, because we have generation upon generation, we have lost that sense of community and we've spoken about the village thing before, haven't we? Right?
Yeah.
About, you know, years gone by, generations gone by, like, you would have so many people around you to support you, whether that be your family or whatever. And we have lost that now, and we are quite isolated in our own bubbles. And I guess maybe that social media thing that we have developed in the last like 15, 20 years, whatever it may be, is giving it back to us, but in a different way.
And I think, are we ever going to be able to get that community back? Probably not.
No, I don't think so, which is sad.
Yeah, I think we've all developed kind of, I don't know, there is a certain element of society where we've kind of developed this thing where we find socializing probably a lot more awkward than what we used to. And is this a more easier way, more acceptable way of us staying connected?
But I do think, like, our ability to ask for help and offer help is growing. Like, even, you know, we've just had a conversation today. Oh, what's like Sophia doing tomorrow? Oh, well, I've got some time. Does she want to come to the park with us? Like, you know what I mean? Like, that gives you a chance. You can work, you can do whatever you need to.
Yeah.
And actually, it's just, you know, giving the olive branch, like offering it, taking it is sometimes the hardest thing.
Oh my goodness, yeah, accepting help. That's an episode in itself, Erin.
Yeah.
Oh, we should do that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I find that very difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do I.
Yeah.
And it's and I think that's what it is. Like, I don't want to put yourself out there because you don't want to be judged, you don't want to accept help because you don't want to be judged, like all of that, right?
Yeah. And again, this is the whole thing about being women. Again, I think this is, I mean, obviously I know that this isn't just a gender thing, this is wider, but it just brings back that whole thing that that Barbie movie sort of monologue that they did around the fact that as women, we are told to be a certain way, we are expected to be a certain way, but we can't do this, but we have to do that still. And it's like we're in this transitional period where we're trying to be the career woman, we're trying to be successful, we're trying to be independent. We don't have to rely on other people, but at the same time, we're still expected to kind of do all the invisible load stuff and making sure the house runs properly. And again, I know things are transitioning. I know there's change and I know there's positive change. But there is still that incredible pressure on us. And that's where I think you don't want to be looking like you're failing.
Looking like you're failing, what you put out there. And that's what I worry about is you put something out to try and help somebody else, but it's actually not what your life is about.
Yeah.
Like, you're putting something out, everyone thinks you're doing great and, you know, they feel seen, but actually you don't feel seen because...
then you shouldn't do it. Yeah, exactly. You shouldn't do it if it's not something that isn't truly you. I genuinely feel that's the case. Like if I'm in a great mood and I'm putting something out, then I'm in a great mood. It doesn't mean I have to put something out showing my darkest days either. But as long as it's an authentic post where you want to share something, do you know what I mean? Like, I think that's the kind
But
of.
if you're not showing it all, is that being true? Otherwise, everyone that's looking at you thinks, "Oh, Vix is great all the time."
Yeah,
because that's what I see. But
I
is
get
that
what you mean.
authentic?
Yeah, no, I get where you're challenging, absolutely. Because I mean, I have put stuff on about being depressed, and I have put stuff on about anxiety attacks and my breakdown and things that I've been through and my trauma, my own trauma. But I don't show it every time it happens. So every time I have a panic attack, I still live with chronic anxiety. Like every time I have, one of those anxiety attacks, or if I have, obviously I live with a chronic condition myself. Those days where I have a flare up and I can't move, I don't put those on social because I can't hold my phone. My hands swell up. I can't move my fingers, so it just won't happen. But yeah, I see what you mean. I see the challenge because, like, is that authentic? Because I'm just posting when I'm having fun, or even when I'm having a dark day, it's my choice. I'm choosing to show that part of my life. So again, I get your point.
Like from an outsider looking
Yeah.
what are they seeing? They're seeing what you want them to see.
I guess in a way, everybody is like, unless you've got someone 24/7, to the point that when you stub your toe or like something,
and I feel that's where my apprehension comes from.
Yeah.
Like I look at people almost through like, a hazy eye of like, is this reality? Is this not? Like,
yeah, we all should.
I can appreciate it in the moment, but I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna let it impact how I feel on my life too much, because I also know what I put out, what other people put out, and I know it's a snapshot in time.
Yeah. And I think you're right, though. I think that's having a pinch of salt and knowing that, I mean, some of the, like we're talking about, like, being obsessed with the crown. Like, I do that with everything.
Oh, yeah.
Everything I watch, any star, I mean, Dua Lipa, I am a self-confessed obsessed. Like, I love her so much. Like, I'm addicted to hearing her. And like, there's certain things where I will Google her and her, like I'll be finding videos on YouTube and things on social media and stuff about her. And I get so enthralled in like how she thinks about things and what she thinks about things. And like, it's almost like I take it too far and I've got to think, hold on, this is like, I'm not like, I can't see her whole entire life. She's not that perfect. But again, like, I just get so addicted to her like journey and her, where she's come from and how she did it and where she, and her family and, who her dad is and, her influence and, oh my God, like all these things. Like I get too engrossed and I have to remind myself, but, it isn't all just what you see.
That side of it I like, though. Like, I was a bit like that. I remember watching this program when I was really young of Taylor Swift when she was really young, before she was famous. She was on this program and I remember it really vividly. And now I find it so interesting to find out what those sort of people did to get to where they are now.
Yeah. I that's what I like want to know more.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know if you've heard of this new like craze on Netflix called K-pop Demon Hunters. It's a film. It's like an anime Korean film and oh my God, the music's insanely good. If you like Eurovision, swear to God, it's perfect. And I am now obsessed with all the characters and I'm now obsessed with the actors and the actresses and the executive producer and all the like traditions that they've built into it, the way that they develop the animation. Like I go way too far.
I love how you say characters and stuff because that's what it is. It's characters.
But that's it, exactly. They're playing a character and, the whole history behind sort of like the tradition that the characters meant to be and all this story, the backstories and the way that the actresses decided to play that character and stuff like that. Wow. I go way too deep.
Well, I know what I'm watching and I know what our listeners are going to be watching. We're going to be doing We've Got This Watch Along.
Oh my God, that'd be such a good idea. I love that.
Right, maybe we need to find something that we need to watch on.
Yeah. I love that.
Interesting. Another one that I don't think we're going to solve, but an interesting
Oh
one.
God, no. And I think this probably will one that will crop up time and time again, because this is, I think, inauthenticity is one of those things that we both find really like interesting.
Yeah, curious.
We are curious, aren't we? Yeah, definitely. So,
well,
there we go.
Well, nice one. Another good one. Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, even with the bung nose, I did pretty well.
Yeah, hopefully this time next week. Are we gone again?
Oh God.
Well, cheers. Back at school next week anyway. Something to celebrate. Woo. Right, catch you later. Bye.